Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय दे जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद राम संकीर्तन सोना भुजिनो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण एको ना भुजिनो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण एको ना भुजिनो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण एको ना भुजिनो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण शोक शोक प्रेत पूर्ण एको ना भुजी प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण सकल छड़िया तुवा चरण सकल छड़िया चरण कमल ओडिया चिया नाथ ओडिया चिया नाथ तव पाद तव पाद तव पाद पद्मा रोखिबे तव पाद पद्मा रोखिबे करता हे भव संसार हे भव संसार हे कोण तुम्हारा चरण हे कोण अमित नित्या जानिनु तव नित्या जानिनु बा एको न एको न तु स्वतंत्र जीव बड़ो दुख स्वतंत्र जीव बड़ो दुख स्वतंत्र जीव स्वतंत्र जीव दुख दूर के पद दुख दूर के पद एको न बुझिनो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण एको न बुझी जे पाद लागिया तपस्या करीला जे पद लागिया जे पदा पा शिव शिवत्वा लीला जे पदा शिव शिवत्वा लीला जे पद कृता जे पद कृता जे पद हृदये लीला जे पद हृदये धरिला एको ना बुझिलो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण एको ना बुझिलो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण से भक्ति से भक्ति से पद गुण पद गुण संसार विपद ते अवश्य संसार विपदे ते भक्ति विनोद उपादा करिबे तोमार भक्ति विनोद করিবে তোমার একনা বুঝিল প্রভু তোমার চরণ একনা বুঝিল প্রভু তোমার চরণ কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে রাম রাম হরে কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে রাম 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे एको नाम भुजिलो प्रभु तुम्हारा चरण एको नाम भुजिनो प्रभु तुम्हारा। श्री गंधर विका गिरिधारी श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय जय श्री। I request all the devotees one request. I I am planning to start one Kartal and Mridanga session with Prashant Prabhu. So would request all of you to please enroll in it. Otherwise, without instruments, there is no life for Kirtan. How long can we rely on the children? They have their classes, they have their studies. So adults, please take it seriously. Uh, Coming January onwards, we will start the Mridanga and Kartal lessons. Please enroll for it and please learn it. Thank you. Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Jaya Jaya Nityananda Nityananda Rama Yahara Kripaite Painu Vrindavana Dhama Jaya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Kripa Maya रूप सनातनाश्रय जय जय नित्यानंद चरणिंद यहाँ ते पाइनु श्री राधा गोविंद जय 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 श्री अद्वैताचार्य जय जय श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद आर्य जय जय महाप्रभु श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य ताहारा चरण श्रिता से बड़ा धन्य जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य गौरा चंद्र जय जय परमानंद जय नित्यानंद जय जय अद्वैत आचार्य कृपा मौर्य जय जय गदाधर पंडित महाशय जय जय श्रीवासादि आता भक्त गण सबर चरण जय श्री माधवपुरी कृष्ण प्रेम पूरा भक्ति कल्प तरुरतेनो प्रथम अंकुरा जय जय महाप्रभु श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य ताहारा चरण श्रिता ये से धन्य जय जय गदाधर जय श्रीनिवास जय मुकुंद वासुदेव जय हरिदास जय दामोदर स्वरूप जय मुरारी गुप्त सब चंद्रोदय तम कैलुप्त जय श्री चैतन्य चंद्रेरा भक्त चंद्रगण सबरा प्रेम ज्योत्स्नया भुवन जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य दया मोया पतित पावन जय जय महाशय ब्रजेंद्र कुमार जगत तारिते प्रभु तुम्हार अवतार जय जय गौरा चंद्र जय कृपा सिंधु जय जय शचि सुत जय दीन बंधु जय जय शचि सुत श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य जय जय कृपामय नित्यानंद धन्य जय श्रीनिवासेश्वर जय गदाधर प्रिय स्वरूप प्राणनाथ जय काशी प्रिया जगदानंद प्राणेश्वर जय रूप सनातन रघुनाथेश्वर जय रूप सनातन जीव रघुनाथ जय मोरनाथ जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय जय मोया जय जय नित्यानंद कृपा सिंधु जय जय स्वरूप श्रीवासादि प्रभु भक्त गाना शक्ति देह कोरिये न चैतन्य वर्णना जय जय गौरा चंद्र जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे जय गंधर्विका गिरिधारी गंधर्विका गिरिधारी गौर हरि जय गंधर्विका गिरिधारी गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल जय श्री श्री पंच तत्व की श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय श्री मायापुर धाम की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ओम अज्ञान तिमिरंध
Hare Krishna. Hare Okay. Thank you. Today we have the wonderful association of Achyuta Padaravinda Prabhu, Apara Gandharvika Mataji here. மாதாஜி நீங்களாம் பின்னாடி எல்லாம் உட்காந்துக்கப்படாது, இங்கே வந்து உட்காந்துக்கலாம். இங்க அப்படி ஒளிஞ்சின்னு இருந்தாலாம் நடக்காதுங்க. We have Shivani who has come here a long time. Hey, Makiran. Dr. Shivani. uh, uh. Proud father, yes. And we also have with us Mridu Mataji. She is the wife of Govind Prabhu. Um, I think it's on Monday. She is having a Seemandam ceremony. So all the devotees are requested to bless her. And it's very nice. All of you have come. And Radha Krishna Premamai Prabhu is also there, who doesn't come usually. Sugunami Mataji, where is she? Here. Okay. Yes, Mataji. ನೀ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರಿ ಇವಾಗ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಿಮ್ ನಮ್ಮವ್ರೆ
just asking prayers because her mother is admitted in ICU, but still Prabhu came, Radha Krishna Prabhu's mother, but still wanted to take association. Probably you'll feel better reading all the verses and it'll help your mother. Sure, we'll make a prayer in the end of the section, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So it's verse 167. Okay. Five. We did Sarvapari, we did, and some more. So we are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 9. Let's start from 165. So for those, some of you are from Tamil Nadu, you might know. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has visited Kanjipuram, then he visited Srirangam, he visited Chengalpattu, and now he is now going to enter Madurai. And he's going to talk about Vaigai also. So let's hear about it. Okay. So let's recite. We'll start at 166 onwards, please. ऋषभ पर्वत छली ऐला गौरहरि नारायण देखिला ताहा नटी स्तुति करी. Okay, you take the mic. And yes, translation. And
When the Lord arrived at Rishabha hill, he saw the temple of Lord Narayana and offered obeisances and various prayers. Purport: Rishabha hill, Anagada Malaya Parvata, lies 12 miles north of Madurai city in the district of Madurai in southern Tamil Nadu. It is one of the mountains known as Kutakatchalas. Nearby Rishabha hill is the forest where Lord Rishabhadeva burned himself to ashes.
Paramananda Puri Tahara Chaturmasa Suni Mahaprabhu Gela Puri Gosaira Pasha.
Paramananda Puri had stayed at Rishabha hill during the 4 months of the rainy season, and when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he immediately went to see him.
Puri Gosaira Prabhu Koila Charana Bandana Preme Puri Gosaitare Koila Alingana.
Upon meeting Paramananda Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered him all respects, touching his lotus feet, and Paramananda Puri embraced the Lord in ecstasy.
Dina Dina Preme Dohe Krishna Katharange Se Pragare Dohera Eka Sange.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed with Paramananda Puri in the Brahmana's house where he was residing. The two of them passed 3 days there discussing topics of Krishna.
Puri Gosai Bale Amiya Ba Purushottame Purushottama Dekhi Gaude Yaba Ganga Snane.
Paramananda Puri informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he was going to see Purushottama at Jagannath Puri. After seeing Lord Jagannath there, he would go to Bengal to bathe in the Ganges.
Prabhu Kohe Tumi Puna Aisha Nila Chale Ami Se To Banda Hoite Asiba Alpakale.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then told him, "Please return to Jagannath Puri, for I will return there very soon from Rameshwara, Setubandha."
Tomarani Katera Hi He Naman Shahai.
Neelachale Sigure. It is my desire to stay with you, and therefore, if you would return to Jagannath Puri, you would show great mercy to me.
Eta balita rathani e ajjalaya. Dakshine chalila prabhu harshita haya.
After talking in this way with Paramananda Puri, the Lord took his permission to leave and, very pleased, departed for southern India.
Paramananda puri tabe chalila nilachal. Mahaprabhu chali chali aila Shri Shaile.
Thus, Paramananda Puri started for Jagannath Puri, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began walking towards Sri Shaila. Purport: Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks, which Sri Shaila is being indicated by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is not clearly understood. There is no temple of Mallikarjuna in this area because the Sri Shaila located in the district of Dharwad cannot possibly be there. That Sri Shaila is on the southern side of Belgaum, and the Shiva temple of Mallikarjuna is located there. Refer to text 15 of the chapter. It is said that on that hill Lord Shiva lived with Devi. Also, Lord Brahma lived there with all the demigods.
Shiva Durga rahe tahan Brahma niraveshe Mahaprabhu deki donhara haila ullase. Seeing Sri, oh, in Sri Saila, Lord Shiva and his wife Durga lived in the dress of Brahmanas, and when they saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they became very pleased. Dina dina bhiksha daila kari ne mantrana nibrite vasi gupta varta kai duijana. Lord Shiva, dressed like a Brahmana, gave alms to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and invited him to spend 3 days in a solitary place. Sitting there together, they talked very confidentially. Ge Mahaprabhu Kari Ishta Ghoshti Tandragnalanan Aila Puri Kama Koshti. After talking with Lord Shiva, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his permission to leave and went to Kamoshti Puri. Dakshina Mathura Aila Kama Koshti Haite Tahan ka Haila Eka Brahmana Sahite. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at southern Mathura from Kamakoshti, he met a Brahmana. Purport: Southern Mathura, presently known as Madurai, is situated on the banks of the Bhagai river. This place of pilgrimage is specifically meant for the devotees of Lord Shiva. Therefore, it is called Shaiva Kshetra, that is, the place where Lord Shiva is worshipped. In this area, there are mountains and forests. There are also two Shiva temples, one known as Rameshwara and the other known as Sundareshwara. There is also a temple to Devi called the Meenakshi Devi Temple, which displays very great architectural craftsmanship. It was built under the supervision of the kings of the Pandya dynasty, and when the Muslims attacked this temple, as well as the temple of Sundareshwara, great damage was done. In the Christian year 1372, a king named Kampanna Udayara reigned on the throne of Madurai. Long ago, Emperor Kulashekara ruled this area, and during his reign, he established a colony of Brahmanas. A well known king named A- Anantaguna Pandya is an 11th generation descendant of Emperor Kulashekara. प्रभु के कई मंत्राना रामा भक्त से विप्रवे रक्ता महाजाना. The Brahmana who met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invited the Lord to his home. The Brahmana was a great devotee and an authority on Lord Sri Ramachandra. He was always detached from material activities. Kritamalaya snanakari aila tandragare भिक्षा की दी बेना विप्रपाकन hikare. After bathing in the river Kritamala, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Brahmana's house to take lunch, but he saw that the food was unprepared because the Brahmana had not cooked it. Mahaprabhu kahe tandre shuna mahashaya madhyana hilakana pakana hihaya. Seeing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear sir, please tell me why you have not cooked. It is already noon." विप्रकहे प्रभु मोर अरण्य वसति पाके रसमग्री वने न मिले संप्रति. The Brahmana replied, "My dear Lord, we are living in the forest. For the time being, we cannot get all the ingredients for cooking. वन्यशाखा फल मूले आनी बे लक्ष्मण ताबे सीता करीबे न पाक प्रयोजन. When Lakshmana brings all the vegetables, fruits, and roots from the forest, Sita will do the necessary cooking. Sahaila Aste Vyaste Se Viprarandana Karila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very satisfied to hear about the Brahmana's method of worship. Finally, the Brahmana hastily made arrangements for cooking.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his lunch at about 3 o'clock, but the Brahmana, being very sorrowful, fasted. Prabhu kahe vipra kanhe karo kene tar dukha kene tar. While the Brahmana was fasting, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, "Why are you fasting? Why are you so unhappy? Why are you so worried?" Vipra kahe jivane mora nahi prayojan Agni jale praveshiya chari bajiva. The Brahmana replied, "I have no reason to live. I shall give up my life by entering either fire or water." Mata Mahalakshmi Sita Thakurani Rakshasa Spasita Tandre Hakani Shuni. My dear sir, Mother Sita is the mother of the universe and the supreme goddess of fortune. She has been touched by the demon Ravana, and I am troubled upon hearing this news. Yuyaya, duke jwale deha pranana hiyaya. Sir, due to my unhappiness, I cannot continue living. Although my body is burning, my life is not leaving. Prabhu kahe bhavana kariha aya, pandita nakine na karaha vichara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Please do not think this way any longer. You are a learned Pandita. Why don't you consider the case?" Prayasi Sita Chidananda Murti Prakrita Indreva Tandre Deki Tena Hishakti. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, "Sita Devi, the dearmost wife of the Supreme Lord Ramachandra, certainly has a spiritual form full of bliss. No one can see her with material eyes, for no materialist has such power. Arya Achukana Paya Darshana Sitara Kriti Maya Harila Rama." To say nothing of touching Mother Sita, a person with material senses cannot even see her. When Ravana kidnapped her, he kidnapped only her material illusory form. Ravana astite Sita antardana kaila Ravanirage Maya Sita. As soon as Ravana arrived before Sita, she disappeared. Then, just to cheat Ravana, she sent an illusory material form. Nahe prakrita gochara Veda Purani Spiritual substance is never within the jurisdiction of the material conception. This is always the verdict of the Vedas and Puranas. Purport. As stated in the Katha Upanishad 2.3.9 and 12, no. न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चन हृदा मानसमानसाद्विक्लपो यदि तद्विदुरमृतस्ते भवन्ति नैवावच्छनमनसा प्राप्तुं शक्यो न चक्षुषा. Spirit is not within the jurisdiction of materialized words or mind. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam 10.84.13 states, Yasyatma buddhi punapetridakkate swadi kalatridishu bhaumahi jadi yatrita buddhi saliye janeshu abhigneshu saeva bhutara. A human being who identifies his body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of his body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of his birth worshipable, and who goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than to meet the men of transcendental knowledge, there is to be considered like an ass or a cow. These are some Vedic statements about spiritual substance. Spiritual substance cannot be seen by the unintelligent because they do not have the eyes or the mentality to see the spirit soul. Consequently, they think that there is no such thing as spirit. But the followers of the Vedic injunctions take their information from the Vedic statements, such as the verses from the Katha Upanishad and Srimad Bhagavatam quoted above. Chane punarapi gubhavana parinama. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then assured the Brahmana, have faith in my words and do not burden your mind any longer with this misconception. Purport. This is the process of spiritual understanding. Achintya kalu ye bhavana tam starkena yojayet. We should not try to understand things beyond our material conception by argument and counter argument. Mahajano yena gata sa panta. We have to follow in the footsteps of great authorities coming down in the parampara system. If we approach a bona fide acharya and keep faith in his words, spiritual realization will be easy. Sa bhojana karila hala jiva nirasha. Although the Brahmana was fasting, he had faith in the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and accepted food. In this way, his life was saved.
Correct. Much before Prabhupada, like Goda Devi and the Alvas have referred to Madurai as Southern Mathura. In Tirupave and all, you'll get the commentaries also that way. Ah. Ah. Hmm. Why it's done that way? Srila Prabhupada instituted New Vrindavan in West Virginia. And he gave New Mayapur in France, on the outskirts of Paris. It's a farm community. Likewise, where the pastimes of the Lord are enacted with great devotion, and where the connection to the Supreme Lord is present through the disciplic succession there, the spiritual world also manifests. For example, two things have happened recently, at least even within ISKCON. One is in north of Bombay, we have the Govardhan Eco Village. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj has done his best to recreate it and bring the spirit of Vrindavan even to Bombay. So how Prabhupada did it in the West, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj has done it in Govardhan Eco Village. That's one part there. Within Govardhan, within our outskirts of Govardhan, His Holiness Bhakti Vijnana Maharaj and other senior sannyasis, they have also created a new place where you see the separate kutis for each of the Shat Goswamis. You have lifestyle murtis. I mean, life size, not style. Life size murtis there. They were recently invited, and it's being made as a place where you can go and chant nicely. So they are invoking all the acharyas there. But we are in Dakshina Ayodhya. Jai. Jai. Yeah. Yeah. What happens? I'll give the microphone to Harish Prabhu. Do you have the mic there? So Prabhu, maybe 5 minutes. So maybe 5 minutes, if you can summarize something about this topic, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you.
Gone for meeting group. It's gone for. He's doing some meeting. This has been compiled by Solnas Rompa Swan Maharaj. So some of the sources from which Maharaj took is from Valmiki Ramayana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, and from like Madhvacharya's Mahabharata Tattva Nirnaya, right? And Bhavishottara Purana. Tattva Nirnaya Mahabharata. So here it said like Vedavati was actually, she was daughter of Vishadwaja. She was doing sacrifice because she wanted Lord Vishnu as her husband. So she was doing sacrifice in the forest, the mountain, Himalayas, the Gandhamadra mountain. At that time, like attracted by her beauty, Ravana was roaming around. So he was attracted by her beauty. So he came to propose to her, but she rejected it. And he tried to grab her by force with evil intention. She said, she cursed him, like, I will be the cause of your. She gave up her body and then she said, I will be the cause of your death next time. And one way is the Vedavati appeared as Mother Sita. And when Mother Sita was there, and then like when Ravana approached her, it is said like Mother Sita called out to Agni. So Agni actually took her and gave her to Kailasha, like in Lord Shiva's abode with Durga Devi. And then she left her shadow form, which was the form which was captured by Ravana. Okay. And one thing is the shadow form which went to Ravana, and like it was in Ashokavana, everything. Then during the Agni Pariksha ceremony, it is that Agni Deva came and gave back the real Sita, and the shadow form went back to Agni. And but she did that service. She was blessed with an opportunity that she became Swarga Lakshmi. Lakshmi in Swarga, heavenly planet. And the same Swarga Lakshmi is the one who appeared as Draupadi, because Draupadi was also born from fire, right? Like when, who is that father's name? Drupada. Drupada he did a sacrifice and Draupadi appeared, right? So it is said like it is Draupadi who appeared later for a service, and she got the opportunity to serve Krishna as well, right? So that's one aspect of it. The next one is like it's similar one, here it is said the same thing happened. Just give me a second. The details. So when once again like Ravana approaches Sita Devi actually invokes Agni. So she once again goes with Agni, and it was Vedavati, okay, who along with, as per Madhvacharya, there is an Amsa of Sita Devi also present in her. So this Amsa of Sita Devi is present in that form, not the original form. This is the Amsa which was reciprocating with Hanuman. And this is the form of Amsa of Sita who is feeling that separation from Sri Ramachandra. It's just not this imaginary form, so it does not have life or nothing like that. It's not like that. But rather, it is the Amsa of Sita Devi is actually present there. That's why she is feeling that intense separation from Sri Ramachandra. Yeah. Not gross body, it was a shadow. And when the fire Agni Parsha again happened, right? And Vedavati wanted to marry the Lord, right? And she got the boon as well. Like she will in future life, she'll at that time when we were doing tapasya, she got a boon that she will get to marry Lord Vishnu. But it will happen later in her life. Okay, many lifetimes later. So she actually for this service she wanted to have the Lord as a husband, but since Ramachandra has only Ekapatni Prata, right? Like so, what you cannot have it here. When Lord will appear as Balaji, then that time he will marry her. That's the story behind this. So that's why Vedavati was born as Padmavati, and she became the consort of Srinivasa. And it is also said Madhvacharya is saying, since Ravana approached not as Ravana, right? He appeared as a sannyasi. He tried to cheat, and Marisha also tried to cheat. So what he got is a form which is also cheated him. So that's why if he approach any sadhu or anyone with a cheating propensity, it is we who get cheated. So Madhvacharya gives that tatparya, right? Saying, okay, the reason behind why this happened.
Sister, it will seem to us, like, is it possible that a form gets transformed here and then another form is happening? It will, in the basic terms, we as humans, is beyond our contemplation. இப்படி முடியுறதா? Is it possible that? So this happened recently. Yesterday I watched the movie. By the way, there's a Kannada movie, Shankaracharya. Acharya Shankara, it's come. Movie has come. I was just seeing it. In that, there's an argument happening. He wins all the other arguments with that Kashmiri Pandita. But the wife raises a question regarding familial. But he's a brahmachari, sannyasi. And then through his yogic Shakti, the whole of his Atma enters into a dead king. The king comes alive and then he is able to experience the familial. And then he is able to defeat the wife of Kashmiri. So this is possible with, so that is possible there also. Haribo.
Any other thought, comment? Bye. Kamagoshti. So actually, this is, I mean, the second question is very simple. Many say the Kamagoshti Puri is actually Kanjipuram. Because Kanji Kamakshi is also, the place is also called as Kamagoshti Puri. Many other places it's called. So, Vinodin, you want to summarize for Hindi, like these, whatever it is?
वेदवती जो है कुशध्वजा की लड़की पुत्री हैं, तो वो उनके पहले लाइफ में जब एक तपस्या करती हैं और वो विष्णु को भगवान विष्णु को अपने पति के रूप में प्राप्त करना चाहती है, इसीलिए उन्होंने तपस्या की। लेकिन रावण वहां पे आके उसको अपहरण करने के लिए देखे, तो उन्होंने रावण को कर्स किया, श्राप दिया कि मैं अगले जन्म में तुम्हारा मृत्यु का कारण मैं रहूंगी करके। तो ये वेदवती जो है वो, प्रभु प्लीज करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम गोइंग रॉन्ग, बट यू विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, राइट? सो ओके। सो वो वेदवती जो है अगली इसमें शी कम्स एज सीता देवी। और ये सीता देवी जो है, ऐसा नहीं है कि सीता देवी पूरा ही माया सीता है, ऐसा नहीं है। जिसका अपहरण हुआ है, जिसको रावण लेके गया, वो माया सीता है। लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि जो हनुमान जी के साथ जो संवाद हुआ उनका, या जो विरह में जो वो तड़प रही थी, वो झूठा था, ऐसा नहीं है। सीता मैया का एक अंश वो वेदवती में था। तो इसीलिए जो विरह जो उन्होंने अनुभव किया, ये सत्य था, ये कोई काल्पनिक नहीं था या माया सीता वैसा नहीं है। लेकिन अग्नि ने उनको स्वीकारा, और वो देते वक्त अग्नि परीक्षा के वक्त वापस मदर सीता के, समझ रहे हैं आपको? पहले जब अपहरण हुआ तो रावण का जब ले जा रहा था उनको, तो माया सीता गई। माया सीता के अंदर एक्चुअल सीता मैया का अंश था। और फिर जब अग्नि परीक्षा के द्वारा सीता मैया वापस आ गई बाहर। वेदवत मध्वाचार्य के बुक्स में है, पुराणों में भी है। हाँ, अच्छा। प्रभु आई मिस्ड एनीथिंग? हाँ, तो इनका जो इन्होंने तपस्या की थी, राइट, भगवान विष्णु को प्राप्त करने के लिए। तो वो पद्मावती के रूप में आई, बालाजी के कंसॉर्ट, मतलब उनकी पत्नी बन के आई। क्योंकि राम तो एक पत्नी व्रता थे, तो उनसे उन्होंने विवाह नहीं किया। लेकिन जब बालाजी भगवान ने शादी की तो पद्मावती के इसमें शादी की। और यही वेदवती स्वर्ग लक्ष्मी करके हैं, जो कि द्रौपदी के रूप में आई और उन्होंने 5 पांडवों से शादी की। करेक्ट?
Just before we move ahead, one point, if you all notice, is Mahaprabhu, if you notice throughout the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in general, he eats either the prasadam from the temple or he eats prasadam in the house of a Brahmana. Those days, a sannyasi was taken care by the Brahmanas. Even if the Brahmanas were not wealthy enough, etc., whatever the Brahmana would give, they would only take that much. Can you give the microphone to Dilit? Oh, okay. So, in our own lives, we see that many nice devotees come to our houses and have prasadam. It means they are elevating us. It's not that we have the qualification. Because of their love for us and their mercy for us, they eat at our house and consequently we get purified. So it is our immense fortune that sometimes we are able to cook in the temple or sometimes we're able to cook at home and have devotees, although we are all not Brahmanas as such.
माता जी, अभी आपको पता है क्या चल रहा है? जो हम पुस्तक पढ़ रहे हैं वो कुछ नहीं है। तो ये श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु के जो पूरी लीला है उसके बारे में चर्चा कर रहे हैं। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु कौन थे? जो लगभग 500 साल पहले इस धरती पे अवतार लिए और भगवान स्वयं श्री कृष्ण थे। तो मंदिर में देखते हैं इनका हाथ ऊपर है, वो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु है। तो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु जो है वो जगन्नाथपुरी आए और जगन्नाथपुरी से आगे फिर ये कहते हैं कि मुझे मेरे बड़े भाई को ढूंढने के लिए जाना है। तो अलग अलग स्थानों पे आ रहे हैं और अलग अलग अपनी लीलाएं कर रहे हैं। तो यहाँ पे आज जो तिरुपति भी गए थे और श्रीरंगम भी गए थे और मदुरई गए। मदुरई अगर आपने देखा मीनाक्षी मंदिर, वो मदुरई है। तो यहाँ पे मदुरई जहाँ भी जा रहे हैं तो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु खुद सन्यासी हैं, तो लेकिन अलग अलग लोगों के ब्राह्मणों के घर में जाके वो प्रसाद ले रहे हैं। तो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जिनके घर में जो प्रसाद ले रहे, हो सकता है कि वो व्यक्ति इतना योग्य नहीं है कि जो किसी सन्यासी जी को जो है वो उनके लिए उनकी मेजबानी कर सके, उनको प्रसाद दे सके, उतनी शुद्धता नहीं है। लेकिन जो सन्यासी होते हैं वो इस चीज को जो नकार, अपना जो एसोसिएशन, अपना संग देने के लिए या उस व्यक्ति पे कृपा करने के लिए उनके ब्राह्मणों के घर में जाते हैं, वहां प्रसाद लेते हैं और इस तरह से उनका अपना जो दिव्य संग देते हैं। तो अगर हमारे जीवन में कभी ऐसा हमको ऐसा अवसर मिले कि हमारे जीवन में कभी हमारे घर में कोई अच्छे भक्त आ रहे हैं, सिंसियर भक्त आ रहे हैं, कोई सन्यासी आ रहे हैं, तो हमें अपना आप बहुत भाग्यशाली समझना चाहिए और ऐसे अवसर को कभी छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए।
We'll read 2 verses together and then we'll pause again. 197. Tare ashwasiya prabhu korila gamana krita mala yasnana kori oila durvashan. After thus assuring the Brahmanas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded further into South India and finally arrived at Durvashana, where he bathed in the river Kritamala. Presently, the Kritamala river is known as the river Bhagai or Vaigai. The river has 3 tributaries, namely Suruli, Varaha Nadi, and Vattilla Gundu. The river Kritamala is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.39 by the sage Karabhajana. Durvashane Raghunate Koila Darashana Mahendra Shaile Parshura Mera Koila Vandana. At Durvashana, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Lord Ramachandra. And on the hill known as Mahendra Shaila, he saw Lord Parashurama. In Durvashana or Darbashayana, now known as Tirupulani, which is 7 miles east of Ramanad, there is a temple of Lord Ramachandra. The hill known as Mahendra Shaila is near Tirunelveli, and at the end of the hill is a city known as Tiruchendur. West of Mahendra Shaila is the territory of Tribankura. There is a mention of Mahendra Shaila in the Ramayana. How many of you here, or especially I should ask, Achyuta Padaravindra Prabhu, have you gone to Tirupulani? Anybody here from the Mataji side, Tirupulani? You haven't gone. So when you go to Rameshwaram, it's on the mainland. This is on the mainland. You will see, you can first go to Tirupulani, and then from Tirupulani, you will go to, what is the place on the border on the Indian side? Like Dhanush, not Dhanushkot, Ramanathapuram, Abdul Kalam. So we go to Ramanathapuram and then we go to Rameshwaram. This place here, this Darbashayana place, is so called because that was where the army of the monkeys, along with Lord Ramachandra, came and they wanted to cross the ocean. And Lord Ramachandra said over there that, "O Varuna," or the Sagara, you can call either ways, you please write. I mean, he wanted the Lord of the ocean or the Lord of the sea to create a path for him. So he did tapasya for 3 days. He just took the straw mat and he lay there on the mat. But for 3 days, Varuna did not come there. And then finally, when Lord Ramachandra got angry, just from his eyesight, the water in the ocean began to boil. And then he removed his arrow, and he was about to take the arrow and put it and aim it at Varuna, or Sagara, who was there in the ocean. And then at that time, a terrified Sagara came out and said, "I'm very sorry." He said, "I was afraid of Ravana. And so I couldn't come out here. I cannot show out as if I'm going to help you." And the Acharyas give an example. This is an example of whom we should not do Sharanagati to. So this place, Tirupulani, is called Sharanagati Kshetra. So there are, the Supreme Lord is the one to whom we can do Sharanagati to. But there are also persons to whom we cannot do Sharanagati. Somebody. I'm sorry. So there are, so those who do not have complete faith in the ability of the Supreme Lord to protect are not the persons to whom we can take Sharanagati. So Ravana was present, Lord Ramachandra is present. Right in front of him, right in front of Sagara, Lord Rama is present. And yet he couldn't come to Rama and say, "I am yours." Vibhishana had the same thing. But Vibhishana said, "I am leaving Ravana and I am going to Rama." Vibhishana could do it, but Sagara could not do it. So Vibhishana is, from the example of Vibhishana, he actually surrenders to Rama. The Supreme Lord is the one to whom we can surrender to, but the others who do not have complete faith in the Lord are not the ones whom we can not surrender to. Okay, this is one thought here. The place, both Kanjipuram as well as this Tirupulani, is very much associated in one sense with Sri Vedanta Desikacharya. Because based on these incidents, Vedanta Acharya gave full exposition of Sharanagati. So now we often hear Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshashyami Ma Shuchaha. What is the meaning of Sarva Dharman Parityajya? In general, there is the Sri Vaishnava understanding, there is the Madhva understanding, and there is, as per our Acharyas, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, all of them have, it's similar, but there is shades of difference between all of them.
आवाज आ रही है? तो यहाँ से श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु जो है वो जाते हैं रामेश्वरम की जब दिशा में जा रहे होते हैं, तो एक मंदिर आता है भगवान श्री रामचंद्र का, वहां पे जो है दुर्वासना, दिस इज द प्लेस या, तो वहां पे जो भगवान श्री रामचंद्र का जो मंदिर है, वहां पे चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने वहां पे दर्शन किए। तो जब हम लोग त्रेता युग की बात करते हैं, तो वहां पे क्या कथा हुई थी कि जितने भी जो वानर सेना थी वो वहां पर आके इकट्ठा हो गई थी, और अब उनको जो समुद्र पार करना था। तो वहां पे जो भगवान श्री रामचंद्र जो है वो समुद्र के देवता के लिए कुसा, जो ग्रास की जो कुसा घास की चटाई पे बैठ के जो 3 दिन तक जो वो प्रतीक्षा कर रहे कि अब जो है समुद्र देवता आएंगे और उनको रास्ता देंगे। तो जब जब ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो भगवान फिर उठ खड़े, उनका इतना क्रोध आया कि उनके क्रोध की दृष्टि मात्र से ही पूरा जो ये समुद्र का जो पानी था वो एकदम उबलने लगा, खौलने लग गया। तो भयभीत होकर अंदर से जो वरुण देवता बाहर आए और उन्होंने भगवान से क्षमा मांगी कि मैं जो रावण के साथ इतना बड़ा जो है ये, मैं रावण से मुझे डर लग रहा कि मैं रावण के जो है उससे मुझे भयभीत लग रहा कि अगर मैंने आपकी मदद की तो कहीं मुझे परेशानी ना हो। तो यहाँ पर हमें ये देखने को मिल, तो यहाँ पर एक तत्व की बात समझना आती है कि किस किस शरण लेनी चाहिए, किस की शरण नहीं लेनी चाहिए। तो समुद्र देवता जो थे वो रावण की शरण ली, लेकिन रावण का शय क्या देता है, दुष्टों का शरण क्या देता है, भय देता है। लेकिन उसके विपरीत अगर विभीषण की बात की तो विभीषण वो रावण के भाई जरूर थे, लेकिन भगवान राम के सामने आप आके अपने आप को समर्पित कर दिया कि मैं भगवान मैं आपके शरण हूँ, ठीक है, या हे भगवान श्री रामचंद्र मैं आपका हूँ। तो इस तरह से हमें यहाँ पे ये समझना चाहिए कि हमें किसकी शरण लेनी चाहिए, किसकी शरण नहीं लेनी चाहिए। जैसे अभी श्यामकुंड प्रभु ने अपने स्वयं के उदाहरण से दिखाया, बार बार एक फोन आ रहा कि उनको परेशान कर रहा था, कथा में व्यवधान डाल रहा था, बोला ठीक है जाने दो, मुझे नहीं लेना, मुझे कथा में आनंद लूंगा, मैं कथा करूंगा। तो साक्षात अपने को यहाँ पे उदाहरण भी देखने को मिलता है माता जी, एकदम लाइव एग्जाम्पल है माता जी। आपको त्रेता युग में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, यही सब कुछ मिल रहा है, मैं उनकी तरफ नहीं देख रहा हूँ। तो तो अब यहाँ पे जो ये कांचीपुरम और ये जो जगह बताई है जो धनुष वहां पे, तो वहां पे जो ये शरणागति की बहुत बात है, तो वेदांत देश कनेक्टेड टू दिस प्लेस आल्सो। तो वेदांत देश का आचार्य जो कि एक बहुत बड़े जो श्री वैष्णव संप्रदाय में बहुत बड़े संत हुए हैं, तो उन्होंने जो है भगवान श्री राम के प्रति जो शरणागति के बारे में बहुत सारे उन्होंने जो व्याख्यान दिए हैं, उन्होंने बहुत सारी टीकाएं लिखी है। तो उनका भी ये उनसे संबंधित है ये जगह और कांचीपुरम का।
Yes, correct. So the same ocean, Mataji Sulochana Mataji is telling, the same ocean did help Hanuman also. But how did he help Hanuman? He just made one mountain come up and he told him indirectly, you do and go and help. But he is not coming up. Here, Lord Ramachandra wants him to personally come. So in our own lives, sometimes we do what is called as this dovetailing principle. We use the results of our work, which is our money that we have earned, etc., in the service of the Supreme Lord. But sometimes God wants us to use our full self, our intentions, motive, everything to be for Him. And that we have to be cautious of.
तो माता जी ने प्रश्न पूछा कि अब हम यह कह रहे हैं कि जो रावण जो है, सॉरी जो समुद्र, वो भयभीत थे रावण से, इसलिए भगवान राम की उन्होंने मदद नहीं की। लेकिन पहले देख रहे हैं कि जो जो हनुमान जी जब सीता माता की तलाश में उनको ढूंढने के लिए निकलते खोजने में, तो उस समय समुद्र देवता ने मदद की थी। उस समय जो पर्वत निकल के साथ मैनाक पर्वत निकल के आए थे और उन्होंने भगवान और सॉरी हनुमान जी को जो है शरण देने की उन्होंने बात कही थी। तो फिर यहाँ ऐसा उल्टा कैसा नजर मारा, तो उन्होंने बोला, प्रभु जी कह रहे हैं कि उस समय जो समुद्र देवता वरुण देवता थे उन्होंने सीधे सीधे मदद नहीं की, उन्होंने पर्वत को बोला तुम जाके करो, मेरे में इतनी हिम्मत नहीं, तुम जाके करो। तो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम लोग जो हमारे आसपास की जो चीजें होती हैं, धन दौलत होती है, संपदा होती है, या कुछ और वस्तुएं होती हैं, उनको हम जो है भगवान की सेवा में लगा देते हैं, चलो इतना पैसा डाल दिया, चलो ठीक ठीक हो जाएगा। लेकिन कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जो हमारे जो भगवान या फिर जो भक्तजन चाहते हैं कि हम स्वयं उनकी सेवा में लगे। तो अब यहीं पर यह दिखाया जा रहा है कि वरुण देवता को खुद जो है उनकी सेवा में लगना है भगवान श्री रामचंद्र की सीधी सी।
You should tell me if I'm going wrong here and if I'm becoming over boring and overbearing also. Because you are the COO. So you are in charge of the operations. Um, I'm just delving on this particular point here about Tirupulani. We just came to this Tirupulani. I think we'll stop here at Tirupulani. And maybe after that, we'll read a few verses which substantiates what we have heard, what Mahaprabhu told this Vipra. also Ramadasa Vipra. It will be substantiated. We'll stop with that. But there's some reasons why I'm coming to this particular section here. So Tirupulani is Sharanagati Kshetra. We commonly think So what is in general in South India, what is the understanding of Sharanagati? If you go with proper Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, when you take a proper initiation in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, it is said, especially those who are the Vadagalais and those who are followers of Vedanta Desikacharya, it is said that Bhakti is very tough to follow. Therefore, you should do Prapatti. And once you do Prapatti, done. You don't need to do anything else for the rest of your life. And at the end of your life, God is going to come and take you to Vaikuntha through the Acharya. Huh? ಇದು ವಡಗಲೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ವಡಗಲೆ ಪ್ರಪತಿ ಸರೆಂಡರ್ ಸರ್ವಧರ್ಮ ಪರಿತ್ಯಜ್ಯ ಮಾಮೇಕಂ ಶರಣಂ ವೃಜ ಅಹಂ ತ್ವಂ ಸರ್ವ ಪಾಪೇಭ್ಯೋ ಮೋಕ್ಷಯಿಷ್ಯಾಮಿ ಮಾ ಶುಚಿ. This is the cornerstone verse of Sri Vaishnavism. No, surrender to the Lord through the Guru. That is, all Vaishnava Sampradayas are very unanimous on that aspect. Okay. So this surrender, so this is commonly used by the Sri Vaishnavas to say, Bhakti is very tough, but once when you come to this, the Bharanyasam, etc., when you do that, you call it as an initiation ceremony for simplicity. In that ceremony itself, if you put your heart into it, then you are done with it. That's a common understanding. And so a question often arises, is this sufficient as such? Right? So two things that I wanted to say here. The bhakti which the Sri Vaishnavas say is nothing but the karma mishra bhakti, what our acharyas are saying. It is not equal to the bhakti yoga that we have. So karma mishra bhakti is, I have to do my nitya anusthana. I have to do all the, like the Amavasya, today is an Amavasya. Today I have to do the Amavasya Tarpana. The monthly, when the sun changes the signs, I have to do a Tarpana. All these Nitya Anusthana, Naimittika Anusthana, everything has to be done. When you do this, for the sake of pleasing the Supreme Lord, this is Karma Mishra Bhakti. Not thinking that it is going to please this Devata or that Devata, but the Supreme Lord is going to be pleased by it. This is Karma Mishra Bhakti. But Prapatti is, I do not have the strength to do it, and therefore, I rely completely on the Supreme Lord. This, what I said, is a Sri Vaishnava's understanding, not the Gaudiya Vaishnava understanding, to be very clear. Okay. But our Gaudiya, yes. No, I'm saying the Karma Mishra Bhakti as given by Baladev Vidya Bhushana Acharya is what Karma Mishra Bhakti, what Baladev Vidya Bhushan says, is what the Sri Vaishnavas call as Bhakti, pure Bhakti. And what we call as pure Bhakti is what the Sri Vaishnavas call as Prapatti. It's the terminology difference. That's it, in general, number one. Number two, the many Sri Vaishnavas themselves, when you come and meet them, they would say, I have done Prapatti, I'm done. So what does Vedanta Desikacharya, who actually elaborated in his Rahasya Trayasara, that is called as magnum opus, Rahasya Trayasara. The book that I have in front of me is this English translation of Rahasya Trayasara. He has given saying the importance of Prapatti, how to do Prapatti, to whom to do Prapatti, all that he has given details. And then there is a particular chapter called Uttara Kritya Adhikara. What should one do after taking Prapatti? Okay. And you may ask me, you all may tell me, why are you talking about some Sri Vaishnava Parampara, some Prapatti? What is the point here? Just bear with me for a few minutes. Let the suspense go here. Continue. Yes, Mataji. See, the teachings of Ramanujacharya became more accessible, especially for this aspect of Prapatti, through the works of Vedanta Desikacharya. He is called as the Gandhavatara. He is the bell of the Supreme Lord. He is the bell of Lord Vishnu. When his mother was trying to have a child, that time one night she got a dream. She got a dream that in the bell of Lord Srinivasa, in Tirupati, it just came into her mouth. She swallowed the bell. And after she swallowed the bell, then he came. And he was the one who, like the bell rings, he propagated the glories of Supreme Lord. Okay. So, having said that, let me come back here. Uttara Kritya Adhikara. I mean, there are many adhikaras. So this particular chapter is called Uttara. After you take Varanyasam, etc., what is the Kritya? What are the activities you should do? That is the chapter called Uttara Kritya Adhikara. So, first he says, how should a person behave post-initiation? He said the person should be like a cultivator or an agriculturist who hangs on to just a fraction of his land, holding just to meet his essential personal needs and the needs of his service or kainkariya, and gives up the rest. He should not hold on to too many things. Take, like what we hear from Rupa Goswami, take as much of things as they're required in this world and use others in Krishna's service. Same thing which Vedanta Desikacharya says here. Number one. Okay. Number two, he should spend his time reading the sacred verses that reveal the auspicious qualities of the Supreme Lord. Why? Because he says that it is just by taking this initiation, one cannot understand everything about the Supreme Lord. It is along with the devotees of the Supreme Lord that one should hear about, read, understand the glories and qualities of the Supreme Lord. Only then the attraction increases further, and only then he becomes eligible to go back to Vaikuntha. So the reason I'm saying all of this is, isn't it very similar to what we are also taught? We taught the same thing there, right? Next one, I want to say a few other things. Apart from learning the meaning of the acharyas, he also says that one should follow the footsteps of those whose only motivation is to serve the Supreme Lord, the real acharyas. And he says one should be with them, one should observe them, one should learn from them. And it is very important. So this is all that he says of the person who takes prapatti. After saying all of this, then finally he comes to his last adhikara in this, or last but one, I think actually. It's called the Shishya Kritya Adhikara. And in that Shishya, he says, so you have to be with the Acharya. That's what he has said. You have to observe the Acharya. While being with the Acharya, how should one be? What should one do as such? And he tells something here, or a few things, many things here. First, he says, he quotes the Shrutis to say that a man who learns by listening to the Acharya without his permission becomes a thief, and it will never stay with him. In other words, if you listen to somebody, you have to also serve him, and you should also go and tell, I have learned this from you, this is how I understood. One should, like the modern way of learning is, I will read so many books, and I have Chat GPT also, which will give me all the information. But that is not the traditional way. That's what Vedanta Desikacharya is saying. And he says the Shishya should behave with respect to the Guru. Because if he doesn't behave with respect to the Guru, it only invites inauspicious things in the life of the Shishya. That is one point he says. Next point, he says, a Shishya should give all his riches, or half of it, or 1/4 of it to the Guru. Aren't we also taught by Rupa Goswami's behavior? 50% you should give. And Vedanta Desikacharya says, however, the Acharya does not expect any such return. He just gives instruction as a matter of duty. And so, he says, once you go to the Guru and receive the instructions, he also says the duty of the Shishya is not to sully or put into disregard or disrepute the teachings of the Acharyas by performing actions opposed to them. That is, I may have received some teaching, but if I perform an action contrary to the teaching, it becomes disrespect to the Guru. One shouldn't behave like that. And this is what helps one to hold the instruction. To cement it further, he gives an example. He says, just as water kept in a pot of skull and milk preserved in a bag made of dog's leather become worthless due to impure containers. The knowledge of one without character is worthless. I'll read it again. Just as water kept in a pot of skull, I mean, nothing stays in a pot of skull, it just goes out, right? There are so many holes. And milk preserved in a bag made of dog's leather become worthless. And then he says further, what is the test that we are actually receiving it properly? He says, if knowledge acquired from the Acharya does not result in non-attachment, performance of dharma or serenity of the mind, it is as useless as the cawing of a crow. He should not make the Shastra the means of his livelihood, or, and he goes, a person who makes the Shastra his means of livelihood, he says, learned men who study again and again the same matter due to greed for money make their learning useful to others, like prostitutes adorning their persons to serve others. You getting it? Learned men who study again and again the subject matter of the scriptures due to the greed for money make their learning useful to others, just like prostitutes adorn their body to serve others. Right? And the reason I'm saying is this is the era of social media. Everybody wants to get onto YouTube, Instagram, create shorts, get so many views. We had to be cautious about it. Somewhere it should not be like, I get so many views, I get so much income, or even if not income, adoration, etc. That shouldn't be there. That's the point that is coming here. And then, who? Yes. Mike, bro. Recording. அதுக்கு தான் bro. அது ஆன் பண்ணலாம் bro.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, bro.
Prabhu, so if that money is earned and used in the service of the Lord,
Correct.
is that okay?
That is fine. But the main thing here is it's a characteristic of an acharya which will finally come to a shishya, which is that acharya never expects anything in return. In a monetary terms, the only thing that he expects in a good disciple is this disciple should propagate it further. That has to be the primary. Amongst the so many of them, at least one person should propagate it further and continue the lineage. As long as that is present, using things in service of Krishna is right, as you rightly pointed out.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
And then he says that a good shishya should always see himself as, he should not say that I am so and so, I have learned so and so, this is my qualification, my degrees, etc. He should always tell himself in terms of I am a follower of Vishnu and so Acharya. And Vedanta Desika gives examples. Says, Dasharatha, although born of a very noble race, he always used to introduce himself as a disciple of Vashishta. He was not just saying I am the son of, coming in the line of lineage of Ikshvaku, etc. First thing he would say is I'm a disciple of Vashishta. Okay? And before doing any activity, one should meditate on the full Guru Parampara. Without doing, a Shishya who doesn't meditate on the Guru Parampara, we cannot retain the Divya Jnana given to him or her. Okay. So I just thought I will give these points here because this one day some of you may go to Rameshwaram. You can also visit Tirupulani. When you visit Tirupulani, maybe these statements can help you. So now, yes.
Prabhu, why is it Vedanta Desika mentioned very strongly, analogy about skull, dog cloth, and prostitute? Why is it very strongly? But is it not very strong as Acharya, Prabhu? But when people read, how they will take it up? That's my understanding. Now, if as a normal person, if we read and it's like comparison of prostitute, and so how people will take it up when someone will read, as you said, as a Acharya, he's strong. But when I read, how can I understand Acharyas more?
Apara Mataji, can you?
Whatever I know, I will tell Prabhu. But I think the spiritual consciousness usually it degrades along with the number of years, Prabhu. So when Vedanta Desika was there, it was many thousands of years back, and the consciousness of people is very, very high. So where especially Sri Vaishnavas, if you see what they follow, it is they follow very strict rules and regulations. So I think these words would really actually transform the heart of a practitioner, and at that stage of life. But now, if you see, we are more into material consciousness, so that is why we are feeling that these words are much more stronger or anything like that. In those days, the scriptural reading of scriptures and understanding of scriptures and every day doing the parayan and other things and following the acharyas was much higher, about 600, 700 years back. So
Prabhupada also talks about professional reciters. Every now and then in Bhagavatam, in every page, it says you should not hear from professional reciters. Is that something which was referring to this particular statement? The statement is also the same, right? We should not do it for money. And
so money is one part, but the particular point is how can one speak very strongly for Krishna consciousness?
I was meaning about the other.
Yes.
Prabhupada also uses that don't hear from a professional. It has to be from a Guru Parampara.
In fact, it is said that in the Dharma Shastras that a guru who teaches for money or a Brahmana who does any ceremony for the sake of money, if he asks by his mouth, then all the pious credits go away from him. So that is why you see, even to this date, I still find many nice priests. They will only tell how much ever you like to give, you can offer. But we should offer. Or wait a minute. It's 8:25. This story will just continue. After that, can you sit together and tell? Because I think only Mataji is there. This we'll just recite the verses now from 199 to 217. Because this just completes the story very nicely. Setu bhande ashi koila dhanustirte snana Rameshwara dekhi taha korila vishrama. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to Setu Bhanda or Rameshwara, where he took his bath at the place called Dhanush Tirtha. From there, he visited the Rameshwara temple and then took rest. Viprasabhashune tanha kurma purana tara madhye ailapati vrata upakhyana. There among the Brahmanas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened to the Kurma Purana, wherein is mentioned Pativrata Upakhyana, the chaste woman's narration. Next verse. Pativrata Shiromani Janaka Nandini Jagadera Mata Sita Ramera Grihini. Srimati Sita Devi is the mother of the three worlds and the wife of Lord Ramachandra. Among chaste women, she is supreme and she is the daughter of King Janaka. Ravana dekhiya Sita Laila Agni Rasharan Ravana hoite Agni Koila Sita ke Avarna. When Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita and she saw him, she took shelter of the fire god Agni. The fire god covered the body of Mother Sita, and in this way she was protected from the hands of Ravana. Maya Sita Ravana Nila Shunila Akhyane Shuni Mahaprabhu Hoila Anandita Mone. Upon hearing from the Kurma Purana how Ravana had kidnapped the false form of Mother Sita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very satisfied. Sita laya rakhile na parvati rasthane Maya Sita diya agni vanchila ravane. The fire god Agni took away the real Sita and brought her to the place of Parvati, goddess Durga. An illusory form of Mother Sita was then delivered to Ravana, and in this way Ravana was cheated. Raghunata Ashiya Be Ravane Marila Agni Pariksha Diteya Be Sita Re Anila. After Ravana was killed by Lord Ramachandra, Sita Devi was brought before the fire and tested. Tabe Maya Sita Agnikari Antardhana Satya Sita Anidila Rama Vidyamana. When the illusory Sita was brought before the fire by Lord Ramachandra, the fire god made the illusory form disappear and delivered the real Sita to Lord Ramachandra. Shunina Prabhura Anandita Hoila Mana Ramadasa Viprera Kata Hoila Smarana. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the story, he was very pleased and he remembered the words of Ramadasa Vipra. Esa Siddhanta Shuni Prabhurananda Hoila Brahmanera Stane Magi Se Patranila. Indeed, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard these conclusive statements from the Kurma Purana, he felt great happiness. After asking the Brahmana's permission, he took possession of the manuscript leaves of the Kurma Purana. Nutana patra lekhaye pustaka diyoila pratiti lagi puratana patra maginila. Since the Kurma Purana was very old, the manuscript was also very old. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took possession of the original leaves in order to have direct evidence. The text was copied onto new leaves in order that the Purana be replaced. Patralaya Puna Dakshina Mathura Aila Ramadasa Viprase Patra Anidila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to southern Madurai, and delivered the original manuscript of the Kurma Purana to Ramadasa Vipra. Sithaya aradhito vakni chaya sitam ajijanatam jahara dashagriva sita vakni puram gata. What is that Sanskrit verse? Pariksha samaye vaknim chaya sita viveshasa vakni sitam samaniya tat purastad aninayat. When he was petitioned by Mother Sita, the fire god Agni brought forth an illusory form of Sita and Ravana, who had 10 heads, kidnapped the flower of Sita. The original Sita then went to the abode of the fire god. When Lord Ramachandra tested the body of Sita, it was false, illusory Sita that entered the fire. At that time, the fire god brought the original Sita from his abode and delivered her to Lord Ramachandra. Patrapaya Viprera Hoila Anandita Mana Prabhura Charane Dhori Kore Krandana. Ramadasa Vipra was very pleased to receive the original leaf manuscript of the Kurma Purana, and he immediately fell down before the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to cry. Vipra kahe tumi sakshat Shri Raghunandana Sannyasi Ravesha More Dila Darashana. After receiving the manuscript, the Brahmana, being very pleased, said, Sir, you are Lord Ramachandra himself, and have come in the dress of a sannyasi to give me audience. Maha Dukha hoite more korila nistara Aji mora ghare bhiksha kore angikara. My dear sir, you have delivered me from a very unhappy condition. I request that you will take lunch at my place. Please accept this invitation. Mano dukke bhalo bhiksha na dila se dine Mora bhage punarapi pailun darashane. Due to my mental distress, I could not give you a very nice lunch the other day. Now, by good fortune, you have come again to my home. एते बलि से विप्र सुखे पाका कोइला उत्तम प्रकारे प्रभु के भिक्षा कोरेला. Saying this, the Brahmana very happily cooked food. The first class dinner was offered to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Se ratri tahara hi tare kripa kori Pandya deshe tamra parni gela gaurahari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed that night in the house of the Brahmana. Then after showing him mercy, the Lord started towards the Tamraparni river in Pandya Desha. We'll continue from here. So Mahaprabhu completed Madurai, his effective stay in Madurai. And many of you, some of you, a good number of you would know, but those who may not, when you are asked questions, how come Lord Ramachandra was so cruel in asking his wife to uh, walk that to walk on fire, to go by the trial by fire as such? We have one reason that is given here. The reason number one that is given here is he wanted his Sita to come. He was not even ready to take Vedavati. It is not like he will even touch Vedavati and then after that, Chaitanya, you have to be quiet. Chaitanya. So it is not that he would even touch Vedavati. That is one part of it. But there is another reason also given again by the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas. They say Lord Ramachandra wanted to tell the world that this is the greatness of Mother Sita, this is her purity. In proclaiming her purity, even if I am insulted, even if people think that I have done something wrong, it is okay. But her greatness, that she was staying in Lanka for so many months, almost a year, and yet she is pure in character. This has to come. That is the nature of the greatness of Lord Ramachandra, that he wants Mother Sita and the glory of whoever is there with him, he wants their glory to come up. He doesn't stay, he doesn't want his glory to come up, it's others' glory. Where else can we have a Lord other than Lord Rama who can do like this, right? That's any comment from
No, that when we go to the Sri Rangam temple, we see the Padukas of Mahaprabhu. Yeah, now he, yeah. Yes, yes. Guru.
he went there and he installed the Padukas of Mahaprabhu and he invited Mahaprabhu to be present. Madurai. Outside the temple. Anybody else would like to add? Any comments, questions? Paramananda Puri. Paramananda Puri is so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a disciple of Ishvara Puri. Paramananda Puri is a god brother of Ishvara Puri. In other words, he is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And we will see shortly that whenever Mahaprabhu used to go in Rathayatra, etc., Paramananda Puri and others used to accompany Mahaprabhu. So these other sannyasis would go together. So in one sense, Paramananda Puri is equal to his guru. He's like his uncle, like his guru's brother. But Paramananda Puri and others knew very well who is Mahaprabhu. They never thought that he's our Shishya. So externally, he used to give respect, but they knew who Mahaprabhu was. Anything else for today? Correct. But Paramananda Puri is also sannyasi. And not just a sannyasi, he is his guru's god brother. So he's at his guru level. So he has to touch the feet. And Mahaprabhu is showcasing it. Nice that you got the point. Mahaprabhu is showcasing the point how one has to worship one's guru. Okay. Rajeshwari Pran Mataji, would you like that?
Just one point. When we are hearing this Ramananda Vipra, we see Mahaprabhu's mood. He knew that he is a Rama Bhakta and he is worried about how Sita Devi was abducted or how can he touch Sita Devi. So when Mahaprabhu saw that Kurma Purana, the references, he immediately bought them and he came back to Ramananda Vipra and he showed and he made him very happy. This is the one of the greatest quality of Mahaprabhu. And we see in spiritual masters also, when some disciples ask some questions, um, they will give the answer, but they will go back and dive deep into the Shastra and give reference from the Shastra. So I just reminded of that.
You all have to chant a very important mantra. One question? Okay, tell me.
Activity on the Guru Parampara.
Yes.
Did you mean in context of spiritual activity or any material endeavor also that we try to?
So, what Vedanta Desikachari was saying is, once having taken initiation, there is nothing called as a material activity.
Okay.
Every activity is spiritual there.
Okay.
So, because the body of a person who is initiated is meant only for the service of the Supreme. It's not meant for anything. Is it applicable for?
Aspiring people.
Yes, all of us. Yes, yes, all of us.
You have mentioned Uttara Kriya Adhikara, Sishya Kriya Adhikara, and you try to establish what is their prapatti and what is the prapatti which Gaudiyas we follow. So you mentioned that whatever prapatti they are having, it is Karma Mishra Bhakti of Gaudiyas. Yeah. Correct. So you want to elaborate on establishing once again on what is Gaudiya Vaishnava's prapatti, Sharanagati. Because whatever we read here, the same instructions we read even in Upadeshamrita. Almost similar, except last 3 verses where we talk about the Vrajaprema, Vrindavan Dham, all that. So how do we, a person transferring from this Kriyas to Anya Bilashita Shonya, which is our bhakti definition, which we try to follow?
There is definition of bhakti given by Ramanujacharya, which does have this little aspect of Karma Mishra Bhakti. But Ramanujacharya gave 2 kinds of books. One is a Sanskrit books, and the other is a Tamil book. It's a Tamil Veda. That is why it's called Ubhaya Vedanta. In the Tamil book, which he actually gives the Gadya Trayam, 3 essays, in one sense you can call it prose, rather I should call it as 3 prose here, there. There he has elaborated on the prapatti. Vedanta Desikacharya took from the Gadya Traya and he wrote this book, Rahasya Traya Sara. He elaborated it further from what Ramanujacharya gave. The principle of surrender is the same both in Sri Vaishnavas as well as Gaudiya Vaishnavas in general. But the object of worship is different. So, Ete Chamsa Kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam in general. But like what Mahaprabhu is showcasing here with Ramadasa Vipra, that depending on how people want, he is ready to come in whatever form they want. He is willing, like for Ramadasa Vipra, you want Lord Rama, I am going to be there for you in that way. So he is only increasing the faith of Ramadasa Vipra in Lord Rama. Prior to that, few sessions ago, we heard where Mahaprabhu, for those whose faith was not so strong on a particular deity, he brought attraction to either to himself or to Krishna. So it is a dynamic thing. But if you were to just look at number 1 from the Bhagavad Gita itself, whereas for the Sri Vaishnavas, it is Sarva Dharman Paritya is the most important verse. For the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Acharyas say, Manmana Bhava Madbhakto is important. That is the conclusive statement. Why? Because a few, one or two verses prior to that, I think it's the 61 to 64, some verse over there, Krishna says, now I shall reveal unto you this greatest secret. And the answer is there in that verse itself. Many people think that after that verse, one has to go and find out what is the greatest secret which Krishna is telling. In that, it's number 61 to 64, somewhere there you will find that verse. In that verse, Krishna says, Priyo Asime, because I like you, I am doing this. So the greatest secret of Krishna, according to the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, is Krishna likes us. And because Krishna likes us, he is okay to even spend 18 chapters worth of time for Arjuna. Even for an elevated person like Arjuna, he is willing to spend 18 chapters worth of time. It could be 45 minutes of time, whatever be that. So the focus on Dasya Bhav alone in 18.66, Sarvadharman Parityajya, gets transformed to varied levels of rasa which Krishna has with everybody. It's not Madhurya alone, but varied levels of rasa in that, I think, 64th verse or so. So that is our equivalent thing, that Krishna likes us. And the extension of that is the acharyas like us. And the further extension of that is the devotees like us. That whole thing comes. We have all been struggling from a lack of love. It is that love which Krishna wants to give, which we don't know how, which unfortunately we don't know how to access, or we block it. That's okay. So, I'll probably be telling this little bit more on Sunday also. I'll add something. Okay. Now we have to tell a very important mantra. It's 8:45. Huh? No, I'll come to it. But anyway, one of the reasons why I even chose this detail on Vedanta Desikacharya is we have both Radha Vrajavilasini Mataji and Vrajnath Varadaraj Prabhu, who once upon a time took Diksha in the same parampara as Vedanta Desikacharya. And then they took the shelter of His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj. So I hope they see it's actually the same teachings are coming, both sides. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So you tell that, and then
for those who didn't hear, currently Radha Krishna Prabhu's mother is in ICU in Victoria Hospital. Couple of days back, he had asked, we'll go home. She said that I've already finished 32 rounds. Inkemo, I don't want to go home. I want to go, she said. Okay. So we were all like, saying about this. I mean, she always chants, she always reads Bhagavatam and things like that. So she had kind of decided, Oddo, I will not come back home. But that day she was having consciousness, and I'm just today I spoke to him and I found out that last 2 days she's not even conscious, or she's not even responding. So we thought we shall just tell a prayer, loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for his mother, so that whatever Lord decides, let that happen. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And Vrajnath Prabhu has made special Iyengar menu for today. So, or okay, whatever it is, Mataji. So we would like to thank Vrajnath Varadaraj Prabhu and Radha Vrajavilasini Mataji for this wonderful prasadam, and let us pray to Krishna that may we honor prasadam. Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmane Vaishnave Swalpa